What is up, everyone, and welcome back for another video. My name is Ivan, and today I'm going to be cooking a dish called Cochinita Pibil. So this dish comes from the Yucatan part of Mexico. It's basically a pork dish that you rub in this achiote marinade, and then you basically put that to cook in the oven or to stew for multiple hours. Typically it's done underground with the same marinade for a long time. Today we're actually going to be cooking it in the crock pot. I'm going to be cooking it for 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 hours, depending on how long I want to let it go. And with that, let's get cooking. Alright guys, so the first step is going to be basically for me to cut all the citrus up. This dish is a citrus based dish, and we don't use any kind of water. You just basically take a bunch of oranges and limes and the achiote paste. Achiote is a paste that comes from the natto seed. I'm not exactly sure where it originates from, but it's basically a really red paste. Doesn't have a lot of flavor, but I'm going to be adding things like oregano and cumin and bay leaf, cloves, garlic powder, and that's gonna be the base of the sauce. I'm gonna take the oranges and the limes. I'm gonna mix it with the achiote paste. I'm gonna take all those spices that I just mentioned. I'm gonna blend those, and I'm gonna pour that over our pork. And then that's basically it. At that point, I'm gonna throw that into the pot, let that stew for 3, 4, or 5 hours. And from there, I'm actually also gonna make a topping for what eventually is gonna be a taco. So it's basically gonna be a taco. I'm going to take red onion, slice that super thin, habaneros, slice those super thin, and depending on how spicy or not spicy you want, you can add the habaneros, you cannot add the habaneros. And I'm also going to be adding a little bit of oregano, vinegar, and lime juice. But I know that's a lot of information, but I'm going to go ahead and go step by step, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we're back. So I'm actually gonna make the marinade now. This is achiote paste right here. You can find it in most grocery stores, especially the Latin ones. So like I said, it's annatto seed that is ground up into a paste, not a lot of flavor. That's why we're gonna add all these condiments that I have right here, along with the orange juice and the lime juice that I squeezed before, and about a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar. So we're gonna go ahead and throw all the spices into the blender. So this is about 2 tablespoons of oregano, about 1 tablespoon of cumin, about a teaspoon of allspice, about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, about a teaspoon of clove, about 3 bay leaves, and whole black pepper of whichever variety you have. I just happen to have the small one. Alright guys, this is the achiote paste right here. I'm only going to use about half of that box that I got because a little bit goes a long way. So we're going to go ahead and throw that into the blender. A quarter cup of apple cider vinegar. And a good pinch of salt. I would say 2 tablespoons full. Alright guys, so I already blended up the ingredients for the marinade. I'm going to go ahead and pour that over the pork. There we go. And making sure that's really well incorporated. And there's really no, it's a marinade, but there's no need for you to marinate it. We're going to throw this right into the pot. And we're going to cook this in its own liquids for, like I said before, 3, 4, or 5 hours, depending on how long it's going to take for it to be super tender and delicious and soft and ready to go. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and take our pork and put it right into the crock pot. And let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright guys, so the next step is for me to actually start the process of pickling and slicing up the onions and habanero that we use as a topping for the tacos at the very end. So I'm going to just julienne some red onion, habanero. I'm going to throw in a little bit of vinegar, lime juice, and salt, and a little bit of oregano. It enhances it a little bit, adds a little bit of that extra kick, and it's really, really great. So let's go ahead and start by slicing these onions as thin as possible. You can use a knife or you can use a mandolin, whatever works best for you. Typically my sister is the one that makes this dish, and when she does, she likes to use a mandolin. The cuts come out consistent and it just works better for her. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and throw that into your little dish, whatever works for you. Alright guys, I actually already put the onions in the bigger bowl right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on the habaneros. These are super spicy, so wear gloves whenever you do slice these. I know how to handle them pretty well, so I don't get too spiced, but I'm super aware afterwards. Don't, make sure I don't touch my face or anything like that, because it's definitely going to hurt. Alright guys, so I have all the onion and habanero all sliced up. I put the oregano in there, a dash of vinegar, the lime juice, and I'm going to go ahead and put some press seal over it. And I'm going to put that in the refrigerator for it to get cold until the cochinita is ready. So it's going to be another couple of hours. But until then...